G'day, I'm Steve Lanchester and welcome to Full Bore. I'm here with Greg and we've got two Land Cruisers. We're out here in Bungabbee State Forest and we're going to go hit some tracks to see if we can blow up some 100 series front diff. What do you reckon, Greg?
Yeah.
Spot on.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
One more.
This episode of Full Bore, we're out at Bungabbee State Forest, which is in the northern rivers of New South Wales. Of course, I'm bringing along the Canyonero, which is of course a 1986 Toyota Bundera running the mighty 22R engine, and the newest modification for it is a set of 32 by 11.5 R15 mud terrain tyres, which I picked up for cheap off tyre sales. Along with me, we're going to bring old matey Greg, who owns a HZJ 105 with a solid front axle, and it's got all the goodies. So Greg's going to give us a quick run through of his cruiser so you know exactly what's going on.
HZJ 105 series. Solid front end. All the goodies. Nah, it's a lie. I wish I had all the goodies.
Well, you got a spoolie boy on the side of your 10Z.
I do have a spoolie boy. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's always fun to listen to. Also got, I don't know, 33-inch tyres. Drawers in the back. Front recovery points. Bull bar.
Yeah.
Roof rack with a high lift jack.
So she's a bit of a tourer.
Hey, I don't know. Listen, we're getting onto the play side, alright? Alright, give me a break. They got lights. They're cool. They go on and off.
Yeah, give us a peek of under the bonnet, mate. And then we'll peg some tracks. Oh. Look at that oily boy.
Yes. The dirty boy, actually.
Dirty
About
boy.
to get dirtier.
Yeah, mate, that's the way to do it.
Very dirty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How many PSI are you running?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I would love to know that.
Okay, let's test her out.
Love to know that. I'm going to go drive through that.
Okay, cool. Should I get my car set up for when you get stuck?
100%.
Okay, so what we're going to attempt here is a vertical 100 series entry into that mud puddle. Okay, and so we're preparing for failure by setting up a snap strap on his bull bar, so when he actually gets stuck, which is probably inevitable, I can get me mighty Bundy and give him a bit of a yank ski out that way. So that's primarily because his wheel bearings are okay at the moment, and we don't want to stuff them up. Or do you, Dan? You want to do some wheel
You
bearings?
mean Greg?
I could deal with learning.
Greg, yeah.
I could deal with learning how to do a wheel bearing or two.
That sounds good to me, Greg. Okay, I'll move me car around.
Probably should have put this in my car, actually, to tell you the truth. Anyway, should be right. Oh boy, am I in proper trouble.
Want me to pull you out, mate?
Very much so.
You know how we were talking about having snorkels earlier?
Yeah. You know what's good, Bart?
What?
There's no water in my car.
Woohoo! Oh, me pluggers are so chockers, mate. Look at that.
On my way, mate. Close. Look out, please.
What?
Please unlock all my balls.
Yeah, right. doesn't need a good wash, mate.
Well, that kind of
So after that initial challenge, we set about trying to find a whole bunch of other tracks, and of course, we were pointing our cars at every challenge we could find, except for the ones where I could drown me poor little Bundy. I don't really feel like rebuilding me motor again. Yeah, boy! That was good, wasn't it?
Hey, your dip all the way up to the sump. Like where not the sump, sorry, the bit where you put it in is mud. Just rolls up and
Go the muddies.
oh, how sick.
I want to show the viewers something. Come over here, my dear camera lady. Okay, so people out in the bush, probably those bloody patrol owners, they go along, okay, crack a can, scull it, and then chuck it out of the car like that. Low lives. But if you're a good bloke and you own a Toyota, what you can do is come along, you pick up the cans off the side of the road, and on the back of the can says this, 10-cent refund. So if you collect a whole bunch of cans, you could probably almost buy a patrol with the money. Righto, let's keep cracking. So that's a good idea. If you're pegging through the bush and you see a can, pick it up, you'll make some cash. And we're saving the environment.
Don't ruin it.
Let's go.
That was supposed to be a cool let's go, and then you get in and then you turn the car on and stuff.
Oh well, next time.
Yeah.
You gonna say hi again?
There you go. So we've had a bit of rain up here in the northern rivers. Look, we've got this puddle coming up. We'll see if I can get stuck in it. Oh crap. Dan, I'll get you to stop before that puddle so I can film it. She gets a bit sloppy. Man, that was soft as a grandma's back.
Wait,
What?
water slishing around when I stop. Ready? Do you hear that?
Nah.
Get in the car and listen to that.
Nah, do it again.
Ready? I'm gonna go forward first.
New water slushing around. Oh no. She'll be right.
Yeah, she will be.
So these new, what are these? So these are a new mud tyre that I got off tyre sales. Bit of a bargain at 170 bucks a tyre, so it's about $700 fitted. So I've just chucked them on to see how they go compared to your good BFGs and all that sort of stuff. And when they put the tyres on the bead and all that sort of stuff at the shop, they've got them at 35 PSI, which is probably not too good for around about these parts. So I'm going to take them down to about 20 PSI, which is pretty good for the Bundy. Because she's a pretty light vehicle, I've got to take it down a little bit further than the average vehicle. Makes a ride a whole bunch nicer in this short wheelbase, but one thing that they don't tell you on four-wheel drive action is you always put those back on when you're out in the bush. Sounds a bit simple, but you put that back on next time around, you unscrew it, your valve is nice and clean, and they generally mean that your tyres don't go flat slowly whilst your car's in storage or you're not driving it during the week when you're going to work. So don't lose them. If you do, go down to your local shops and get a new set. Because they're, oh, there it is. They're handy.
Mate, easy, easy.
Not bad.
So you can really see in this situation the advantage that the long wheelbase has over the Bundy. And, you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. The shorty will show up the long wheelbase and the long wheelbase will show up the shorty. In the end, it's all good fun.
Stop. Throw these ropes. Did I? No, I said you're gonna if you go any further.
Mate, I've got to say, that's some good flex you got going on there.
It is, isn't it? I didn't even know I was flexing off a storm like that.
Interesting little challenge, this one. A bit crossed up at the start, and you just got to pick the right angle. Further up the hill, of course, you got a really big rutted section where you got to give it a bit of mumbo, but the only issue is rocks could potentially throw you off into some logs and stuff like that, causing a bit of panel damage, which is no good in any situation, especially if it's the Toyota.
So close! Yeah, boy! Woo! That was awesome!
Okay, so here's a spot where the short wheelbase shows up the long wheelbase. Once again, way it goes. But listen to that mighty 22R. Give her the berries up this hill. She's a cracker. Meanwhile, he's standing on a perfectly good chicken track, but the puddle does seem very enticing, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. I think I'm going to do it. Not only am I going to do it, I'm going to come out the other side.
You're going to conquer it.
Dry.
You're not going to do it. You're going to finna conquer it, boy. Give it a crack.
Oh, doesn't that suck that my alternator's broken now?
What?
I was just saying, that's just what you're going to say in about 30 seconds.
Sometimes you just got to know when to stop, and because the Bundy doesn't have a snorkel on it, the air intake is really low right up the front behind the headlights. So if I'd gone too much further, there's a possibility that I could have sucked in a whole bunch of water and potentially hydraulic my motor to some extent. So you just got to know sometimes when to back off and have a little bit of mechanical sympathy. Can save you a lot sometimes. And in that note, it's also a good idea to check your car halfway during a trip, because I noticed something a little bit odd about the Bundy. Current crisis.
Sorry, what did I say about nothing going wrong yet?
Oh, it hasn't gone wrong yet. Nothing's broken per se.
Well, we're just going to chuck the high lift under it and put it back in there.
Yeah. Anyway, so I've got standard coils with 2-inch lifted shocks in it to try and get a bit more flex out of it, because Bundy's flex like a steel rod. But yeah, when I was going up that last bit, flaming heard something go boing, and I'm like, yeah, no, she'll be right. And now I've got no front spring in the left hand side of my car. Which is funny as. Let's go back and find it. It's amazing how little travel there is in that. Oh, there it is.
Oh, right there.
Wow.
Well, I found it. Just a wild Bundaera front coil in its natural habitat.
Yeah. Okay, now to get it back in. Funny thing is about this situation is that when your spring falls out, your chassis riding on the bump stop on the diff, which means that you practically got no suspension there whatsoever. And that's funny because I drove for around about 1 kilometre exactly like that, and it wasn't until I hopped out of the vehicle and actually looked at it when I realised that something was wrong.
That's disgusting, no offence.
What?
How easy that went in there, so therefore how easy that's going to come out.
That just goes to show that Bundys don't really have the best suspension in the world. Spring has sprung, everyone. That was an easy fix.
It's a bit too easy.
Now what's going to go wrong next?
Run, okay!
Me?
That's how high it was, me.
That's freaking high. Why did you do that?
What? You say something like I like it.
You got... Oh. You got no mega far. How is that mud flap still there?
Oh no, what have I done on my car?
So that pretty well concludes our day trip out to Bungabbee, and I must say it's a pretty cracking little spot. if you're in the Northern Rivers, you just want to go for a 4B for a day. You can't really camp here because it's not really allowed. But
Take on the motorbike.
good day out, take your misso, take your mates, take your dog. Actually, you can't take your dog. But take your 4B out into the bush and have a cracking time, because that's what we did. And we might catch you next time on Full Bore, but we might not catch you next time on Full Bore, depending on when the next episode is. And you're only watching us and we're not watching you. So you'll catch us, but we won't catch you on the next episode of Full Bore.
Greg. Oh, you had me going for a second. Oh.
Greg's my middle name.
I'm Shauno, aren't I, Kayla? I mean, Summer.
Hey,
And he's Graham.
I'm a big guy who drives a 79. I like the automatic.
You can be berserker.
Rocket Rod.
Rocket Rod! I love Rocket Rod!
He's good. He's a good kid. Hey, what sort of bike's that?